Hey guys, Khalid from Cricket Fanatics Magazine here, and today on another episode of our lockdown series. And today I'm with Gabi-Lee. Now, Gabi is someone that I've been dealing with a lot, and I've obviously seen her in action a lot at the Western Province women's team and the Western Province girls team, etc. And we both quite a good relationship over the last year, I would say. I've come to some of the practices, I've seen how she works with the players, and I've seen how they respect her, etc. So I thought this is also an opportunity to bring her on the show. But also, it's a great time for me to do so because she just was featured on G Sport for Women, and they have, or G Sport for Girls, and they have done an amazing feature on her. And I really thought that would be a great opportunity for me to talk to her about her current fame that she went through, because obviously she's now blown up and went on radio stations, etc. So let me start from the beginning, Gabby, and just welcome you to the show. And how are you doing, and how's lockdown been?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Lockdown's been crazy. I've been in George for 7 weeks, I think. And then I came back between the period of 1st and 7th May. Then I came back to my mom, and then I came back home to my flat. So it's been a roller coaster during lockdown. But other than that, I'm good. I just had a workout now, so I'm feeling really good.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to know. Obviously, you have multiple roles at Western Province Women. You do team management, obviously fitness with the team as well. Multifaceted, multi-talented. But how do you keep fit as a fitness person, as a sports scientist? How do you keep fit during this period now
Oh
of
my
lockdown?
Oh my gosh, my players are laughing at me now. I'm extremely busy, so I try and go to the gym in the mornings. Um, here, just close to where I work. So luckily for me, I'm a teacher, so my school is really close, and the gym facility is close as well. So in the mornings, I try and go to the gym and just stay physically active. And I teach PE, so I'm always busy with the kids on the field, and I'm always running around. So performance wise, I'm not necessarily the fittest, but just fit and healthy enough to do what I need to do. I can't focus my physical fitness religiously. I can't focus on it religiously, but I try and fit in as much as I can where I can, because the days are long between teaching and administering sport. And then after school hours, it's on the cricket field. And I mean, I get home like 7, 8 o'clock at night, and then I've still got to study, make myself something to eat. So it's quite a crazy day in the life of Gabi-Lee. So
Yeah, sounds hectic. So, like, obviously, let's go into the crux of this conversation. I just wanted to talk about that feature. Obviously, how did it happen? How did it come about? And what was the experience like to be featured and written about?
so Selena is the manager of the KZN team. And when we played KZN on the 6th, I think the 5th or the 6th of March, we had a league game in Durban, and we were chatting. We were sitting in the change rooms, and we were just having like a informal conversation about women's cricket. And she does her blogging on G Sport, and she ran the idea past me and said, "I would love to do a profile on you for G Sport." And I was like, "Okay, that sounds cool." And we were just chatting about my experience in women's cricket, and she was blown away at the fact that I've been involved for so long. So, and I mean, I've been involved for 8 years in this position that I'm in now, and 8 very successful seasons, and no one's really heard of me, and nobody really knows my story. So it was really cool that she came up with that idea to do something like that, and I'm very, very, very grateful for it. So
Yeah.
that's how it started.
So, what was it like when the article got published, etc.? I mean, obviously, this is a nice maybe lesson or tutorial for your players, for your younger players, who they eventually do get featured by magazines or websites, etc., and what it is like to have that little bit of exposure. So after it was published, what was the feedback like, and what sort of opportunities arose after that?
um, it was quite something. It went on Facebook, and a lot of my friends really shared it and said that how proud they are, and my family. And My sisters in George, especially, they were all blown away. And my one sister even asked, like, when did this interview happen? I didn't hear anything. Because, in lockdown, so obviously we always in each other's space. And she's like, I didn't see this happen. So I said, no, it was all on email. And yeah, the feedback that I got from my teammates was really awesome, and from Coach Clay, and it was just really awesome. The response that I got from family and friends, and I mean, you obviously contacted me, and I got a radio interview, and the newspaper in my hometown in Strand also contacted me. They wanted to do a feature on me, so really, really awesome.
Yeah. What was the experience like to be on the radio and having a chat about everything?
There was an oversight on the day, so the talk never actually happened. It will be happening this weekend.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I just wanted everybody out there to know actually exactly what happens, and well, with you in the future, where they can obviously follow you, etc., and know that they can hear more about you. But this platform is for that, so we're going to get a little bit into your story. Your love for cricket, obviously, this being Cricket Fanatics magazine, so it's about the fans. And generally speaking, when people get involved in cricket first, they are fans first of the game, and then they become something. Is that the same way it was for you? Did you fall in love with the game first and then see, oh, there's an opportunity as a profession?
I'll be dead honest with you. I actually had, excuse me, I had no idea that there was women's cricket when I was younger. I played in the, I played in the streets with the boys, but I love cricket because I watched the men play on TV. I grew up watching like the 1999 World Cup. I felt that hurt.
Sure.
I was watching it with my family, and that was, yeah, that's all I knew as a kid. And it was only until I went to high school where they had a girls' cricket team that I really started to be exposed to that culture and environment and the possibilities. And I didn't have the not the greatest of primary school sport, but I played a lot of primary school sport. Wasn't as consistent, and the training wasn't as hectic and intense as what you see nowadays. But I was always playing outside with the kids, and that's how it started. And when I went to high school, played for my school team. Then I made the Boland under 16 side, and then I made the under 19 team as well. And I think my cricket journey as a player, okay, recently I only stopped like a season ago because I focused more on my studies. But I didn't excel further than under 19 cricket because I started studying and I had a very bad knee injury and I had to have an operation. So I try to, balance and play recreationally and focus on my studies, but I was so consumed with studying and working. I worked a lot. Like I did a lot of volunteering, coaching, umpiring, anything that I could get my hands on in the sports science field. I was busy with, so there was no time to really play cricket. And I guess that is where this profile started, was just the passion to give towards sport, to give back to the kids that I coach and to the institution itself. That's how my journey started in this regard. So I mean, I still I would love to play cricket again, but I'm just too busy. I mean, my studies is probably taken biggest priority now in the last 2 years. So there's just no time for me to play in between managing, teaching, and doing everything that I do.
Yeah. So I want to talk to you about the sports science factor of it, because that's quite interesting. Sports science has really changed the game completely, and the way people think about things. So can you maybe talk a little bit about that and your learnings or your what you've heard, what you've discovered regarding sports science and the development of sport, etc.
Sure, it's a very broad question. There's so much to talk about. Would you like me to talk about specifically in cricket or just an overall view?
Let's talk about specifically in cricket and how it can help you in the women's game especially as well.
Okay, so I did an undergrad in sports science, and then I studied my honors degree as well immediately afterwards. And then I took time off to find a job and start working. And I'm a teacher now. And then when I started to get really into the sports that I was doing, I found a passion for mental skills. And mental skills is part of sports psychology. And I did sports psychology in my honors year. So I started to understand and read and invest myself in the literature of mental skills and sports psychology, or psychological skills training. And I've been implementing it in a high performance setup. I started using it as a tool in my fitness. So when I was doing fitness drills with kids playing hockey, playing cricket, I would implement my mental skills knowledge on a very basic level with kids in that regard. And I would teach them about confidence, and I would teach them about motivation, and I would teach them about self confidence and imagery and all those things, and anxiety management, particularly, which is something that is huge in sport, and particularly in women's cricket as well, is how to manage pressure. So in the setup, the girls have to go and perform, and they've got this weight on their shoulders of the what ifs. What if I don't do well? So we know this as fear of failure. And fear of failure is what inhibits performance. So I've invested myself to find out what is the skills and the tools that these players need to overcome fear of failure and to go into the game and perform and showcase themselves with the skills of their mind. You can bat and you can bowl, but it's all what's going on here first. And the biggest thing is, for me, the process of everything that they're doing. So you can know how to run, you can know how to field, you can know how to bat. It's just about process of it all and the consistency of its application. And when you apply processes consistently, you get consistent results. And any player is measured on results. Nobody measures your performance. I'm sorry, your processes.
The process, yeah.
Nobody's going to look at the finer details that you are doing to achieve that ton that you scored or that fifer that you took. Only you know what it takes to get that done. So that is the kind of work that I'm currently doing with the Western Province team in particular. And for myself, in my master's, I am studying the different mental skills. I'm really diving deep into the literature and understanding its origins and what it really means, implementing it I've designed a little program that it's still in its foundation phase. It's not near to where it needs to be, but it's a start. And once I'm done, hopefully I feel that I would enhance that program and get the best results out of players mentally and physically through what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a question that I pose to a lot of coaches, and I had a long conversation with the actual Prince about it as well. Because he's a type of player that kind of is a representation of that mental strength.
Yeah, yeah,
He's always been that type of player that ignored the outside influences and all the distractions. And that's obviously something with you working with the under 19 team and some of the young girls that are in the women's team already.
yeah,
To obviously deal with that mental side of the game is very, very, very important. So
correct.
I like the fact that you brought that up and that you can teach me more about this because this is something that I've always thought that was an amazing factor and it's the unseen factor and for me as in my opinion basically. So you can have all the talent in the world, but mentally strong. So if you're mentally strong, you can really take your game forward. We had a chat with Faye as well on this channel, and she also mentioned the same thing about
Yeah,
what she does for mental training. So can mental strength be improved or taught? Can the mental side of the game be
of
taught?
course.
And what sort
Of
of techniques and what sort of techniques do you
course.
basically give your the players?
No, definitely. Mental skills is like physical skills. I can teach you how to do a squat. I can teach you how to visualize. It is a skill. And noticed was that as you grow older, particularly, I always use myself as an example. When I grew up, the more I started working, the more I started to realize how strong-minded I needed to be. and how I had to learn to work with a routine, and how I had to learn to work with certain mindsets, overcoming certain situations, problem solving, and all that. And that takes a lot of processes, mental processes. So, with young cricketers coming up, they've got all the talent and all the skills, but they don't have that mental skills that is going to equip them on a professional basis. So, working in environment, there's a lot of things to take into account. So say for instance, I'm working in retail, I have to be customer friendly. I gotta, do things the right way, and that takes a lot of practice. So the same thing works in a sporting environment, and they need those skills to perform so that they are consistent. So mental skills, I can teach you mental skills, but you've got to practice it consistently as what you do when you bat or when you bowl and when you do physical fitness. And those things combined give you consistent results. And what more do you want on a high performance level than consistency? Nobody looks at somebody that is moving up and down on the charts. You want to see someone that is constantly improving, and that is utilizing both sets of skills at the same time, practicing them, practicing them, practicing them, going into the nets, working on what you need to, going out into the field, doing what you set out to work, and then reflecting on it and saying, how much better can I do next time? So that is a consistent thing that you need to do. And quite frankly, if you look at the definition of mental skills, it is the systematic practice of set skills. And physical skills are the same thing. Systematic. It is a system that you need to apply. So, yeah, in a nutshell, that's exactly what it is. I can teach you how to be motivated. There's lots of techniques that you can use to get motivated, and that is with all in the literature that I'm still working on. But yeah, definitely, if it's a skill, it can be taught.
Yeah. So you mentioned, I'm going to move on now from that because there was some great insight that people must go back and watch again. Guys, in the comment section, I know there's guys that tuned in. Please put your comments in the comment section. I know Ravi's getting very, very excited here and sending a lot of questions. We'll get to them a little bit later. But I want to ask you about your team, the players that you work with. You said you've been with them for quite some time. You've seen a lot of players come and go probably, and you would have been there from the beginning of most of their careers as well. Can you mention some of the players that you have really grown to know much better than others, maybe? Because obviously last year, I'm talking about now in the last 5 years, maybe, players that you've gotten close to, and what is special about some of them that stands out? I mean, I can name a few that I'm maybe interested in, your Laura Wolfarts, your Andre Steyn, and there's obviously a younger generation, obviously Faye as well. You've got the younger generation like Andre Fulberard, etc. Can you maybe just give some insights into them?
You cannot do this to me. I cannot single out anyone in that team. Let me just say that every day is a challenge. They are all unique and special. I look at it, it's exactly what I just said now. They are all unique, they're all special. Every day is a challenge with them. You never know what you're gonna get. So yeah, no, to be honest, like I've known Alexis, the captain, for the longest time since we were kids. Our parents played sport together, and Robin and I, as the vice captain, have played cricket together when we were 14. So I've known her for the longest time. And then, I mean, the whole team, just I get along with them so very well, and they're all very special to me. And I really can't single them out because they're so unique, and they've all got their individual talents and jokes and fun, and they're just awesome. And what makes them awesome is that it's just we're like a family, and there's nothing better than that. I really just enjoy being with my family, which is it's really special.
Yeah, so I want to actually get to know you better, and that's obviously going to be very difficult for me to do because you're not a person that likes to talk about yourself.
Nah,
so yeah, I know you don't, Jack. I mean, I'll
but
try.
you might disagree.
So I'm going to get some help quickly. So Andre,
Oh,
How are you
yeah.
doing?
Hello.
So, how are you doing, Andrea? I just thought I'll bring you on and ask you a few questions, maybe about Gabby. Something that you've learned, a few things that you've learned from her, and what makes her really special in this team environment that you have.
I think in the team environment sense, I think she's got a very unique personality in the sense that she has an ability to communicate with anyone really, regardless of their background, regardless of what they might be struggling with, regardless of the type of person that they are. And I think that's something that's so important within a team, especially with the multiple roles that she does play. Because I think that if she's able to understand every person really, really well, and maybe if two people have the same problem, her approach to those to those two different people would obviously be different. And I think that each player in that sense has a really good relationship with her and understands really well why things need to be done, and she's got the serious side mixed with obviously the fun side as well, which is the chaos and the craziness that our entire team is. Um, so yeah, I think that's something that's very, very unique to her. That's very, very unique to her personality. And then obviously with the awesome team dynamics that we have in the team already, I think it's just a very good combination. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, is there anything maybe that you want to ask Gabby that you haven't had a chance to? I mean, obviously during this period, I don't know how much contact you guys are obviously going to have a lot of contact with her with regards to the strict side of things and doing your training and all of the programs and stuff. But is there anything maybe that you want to ask her, maybe on a light-hearted way, or it can be something about cricket?
I didn't run today. Sorry.
I did want to know with the mental skills, the tools and things that you are developing. I did want to know, do you think that if you are someone who can read people better, do you think that it's easier for you to, because obviously you would be the person to apply or prescribe, do either maybe work on, I don't know, concentration or rather, visualization, something like that. Do you think that reading people better makes it easier?
Definitely. It makes it a lot easier. And I think, let me just allude back to the relationships that I have with the players. And I work extremely hard to build relationships with the players so that I can identify what they need. And I just really, that soft skills and get in touch with themselves outside of cricket first, and then what is going on inside with cricket. But focusing on how to improve them on a high performance level. So their personality plays a huge role in it, because obviously if somebody takes pressure very much to heart, it's going to be extremely difficult to teach them to concentrate, because they're so focused on things that don't matter in the moment. So you've got to be gentle when you apply certain mental skills and tools. You can't just throw it in their face and expect them to swim. So relationships and trying to understand the identity of the player and their personality plays a massive role in implementing mental skills into the players' lives.
Okay.
Well, Andrew Wilson knows she's quite a good soccer player. But I've watched a few. I've watched a few
Actually,
battles between you and Andre on the field
You are
when you guys are
entering
playing
very
against each
dangerous
other.
ground. Oh, God. Such dangerous grounds we've now entered.
we're gonna win the league.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that, but
I'm
okay.
sitting in the middle of two Man United supporters. How in the hell? you are terrible. This is not
And Ravi is in the comments and he's a Man United supporter, so
no.
this is gonna be great.
You see,
See, this is the first time in 30 years that Liverpool has done well. I'm going to
listen,
get so much flack for this. This is the
listen.
first time in 30 years that Liverpool has done well. And, these people they're too much. I can't.
Can I just give you another fact? Man United hadn't won a trophy in 50 years before they won their first. So I'm just saying.
Listen. Yeah. It's fine. That's fine.
Oh well, that's okay.
Listen, let me just say,
or five unique or something.
no, let me just say with the soccer thing, I will get a lot of flack if I don't mention this, but I get so much banter for my ankles when I'm playing soccer. So
Yeah.
I'm not really the greatest soccer player, only when my ankles are strong enough to handle the game.
So I want to ask you about that, obviously, because from a fitness perspective, how does she, because obviously Gabby has to do multiple roles in that team. She has to be your fitness coach. She has to be a team manager. She looks after you guys at practice, making sure you guys have hydration and have your drinks, etc., and you're happy. From that perspective, what is she like from that perspective? And how much have you learned from her with regards to that?
I think when it comes to work having to be done, regardless of it being from a managerial perspective or fitness or whatever it may be, I think a lot of us as players can get extremely angry and frustrated at her with her at times, because obviously, like, we know that it's that thing of, like, what she's telling you to do is the right thing, but it's just like the timing of it is just not there. So I mean, obviously, something like, I mean, the biggest one for I think most sports teams is fitness. If you're going to tell me to run again, like, there's a point where I'm going to start getting angry at you. So I think she's obviously very determined to make sure she does a good job. And I think when she needs to be serious, she's very serious and very strict about the way that she does things, and very methodical about the way that she does things. But I mean, like I said earlier, if there is downtime, then, she could be the complete opposite as well, in terms of the joker, or the one who has the most fun, that sort of a thing. So yeah, and then in terms of learning, learning from her, I think, has been not just in terms of a cricketing sphere. I think in terms of that, she also teaches players to be, I don't want to use the word sustainable, but I think to sort of be like, to sort of not to have to rely on her as well. I think that she does that a lot with, like, starting with the under 19s already, where they sort of understand, like, why they are doing fitness, what's the purpose of it all, because I mean, a lot of the times, like, younger kids, if they don't understand why they're running, and they don't see the value in it, then they're not going to do it, and they're not going to enjoy it. And I think that's something that maybe a lot of the people in the senior women's team have learned as well from her, is just that deeper understanding as to why you want to do it, and why you want to really push yourself further, and the value that it brings with it. So yeah, and then from a studying point of view, because I've obviously done sports science as well, from a studying point of view, I've stolen quite a few notes for tests. So yeah, I've also learned a lot there.
And Gabby, is it handy to have someone? Obviously, you saying you study sports science. Is it handy to have someone like Andre in the team that is also studying what you're studying, and to be able to relay that message from a different point of view, man, to the players? Because coming from a senior figure, and obviously you being the team manager in the team, it can be sometimes there's a little bit of a sometimes there can be a resistance from younger players, and it helps to have a player in the team that actually shares similar thought processes with you. Is Andre someone that you look to return to for that type of information to be shared with people?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's nice to have somebody to bounce ideas off, and I do that a lot with her and Faye as well. So we talk a lot about what, especially with under 19s, because they do assist a lot with the under 19 training. And I'll run my fitness program or whatever we're going to do for the day, and I'll bounce ideas of what is more specific, because both of them have played international cricket. So for them at that age, would certain muscle group exercises be essential for them in that moment? And just bouncing off those kinds of ideas to get the best out of our under 19 players is really, really awesome to have. Because usually it's just Claire and I, we just, talking, always in each other's space. So it's really nice to have those other two there as well. And then from a senior point of view, it's quite difficult because now I've got to train Andre and Faye, and then they give sometimes about what they feel they shouldn't do because, they know better now. But I just switch them off. I just turn that voice off in my head, and I just say run.
So, Andy, you mentioned some of the fun side of Gabby. What is she like on tour? What some of the fun things, angles of her, fun parts of her personality?
I'm just telling everyone.
I think the biggest thing is she gets a lot of banter from honestly everyone and anyone, especially the thin ankle. But I also think what the banter that she does get, she obviously gives back. So yeah, there's always this to and fro sort of a situation. Yeah, it's honestly, I think she's up for anything, to be dead honest, on tour with regards to fun. Within our team, Xbox on tour is a very, very big thing. People get very aggressive and very competitive and like scream at each other and like mad stuff. So yeah, I honestly I can't really single it out to one situation or one thing that she really does, because I think it's like a personality thing again, with like the crazy personalities that we have and unique personalities that we have within the team as well. And I think it just it bonds together really, really well.
Mm.
Cool. Thanks. That's awesome, Andy. Thank you a lot for coming on. Obviously, we want to get into some of the questions over here, but thanks a lot for always being game to come on and give us some insights.
No worries, all good. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll see you. So, Gabby, I hope you enjoyed that part. I surprised you a bit over there. It's always good to see your reaction. So, I'm going to start with the comment section. So, guys, you can get your comments in. Emily, I know you have loads of questions. So, please, I see you in the comments. Please give some good questions in the comment section. Faye, I know you're good at asking good questions as well. So, throw one or two maybe in there. I'm going to start with Ravi because I think this is a great question to help you also give some insight into the women's game as a whole. So he says he has a 2-year-old that's taken a liking to sports. What's the best way or structure to expose her to cricket? Because he wants her to be a little jockeys. We know that already.
You see, for me, when kids are young, I mean, you see videos of little girls, cover driving like Laura. It's crazy. First of all, it depends on like the family and the environment. If everyone's sporty, to sort of build that culture within that child. But ultimately, you can try and they'll resist. So it's very difficult. So my biggest push for that is just so that the child is physically active, running around, throwing a ball, get them to love what they are doing. If they don't love it, they're not going to do it. So, you have to build a liking for physical activity. And even if it's just you take them outside and you run with them, or you throw the ball with them and you get them to enjoy what, you're doing. And when they see you enjoy it, they will enjoy it. And I used to be a primary school teacher, and I used to do PE with primary school kids, and they went mad when I would like play soccer with them during break, when we play dodgeball during lessons. They get more involved when you are involved, so because they see you enjoy it. And my biggest thing is like, if that child is not going to grow up liking cricket, when they play provincially, they won't enjoy it then. So just start with the foundations of enjoyment, and yeah, that's my point of view.
Yeah, because I mean, say now, okay, say future Khalid has a child that picks up a bat now. She's a young girl, she picks up a bat, and she's interested now in the sport. At what point do I take it into the hands of saying, okay, cool, let me get a private coach for her, or let me find a way that she can play the sport? Is it all about enjoyment first?
Almost immediately. If you see that there's an interest, almost immediately, because you won't only know until she's in that position where she's working with a private coach. Then you can identify if she's enjoying it still. You understand? And then you can take it further, because if there's a private coach and the person is doing throwdowns and she's not enjoying it, then it's pointless, you know. But also, you don't want to have one session and then she doesn't enjoy it and then, okay, you give up. You know, you got to like give it time. So give it time to see how things work out. And if after a couple of months it doesn't, then maybe the interest is somewhere else.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about women's cricket because that's something that I really want to learn more about, and it's really flourishing in the world at the moment. You could see by the amazing response that the World Cup got this year, how some of our players, like Laura, for example, and Nadine de Klerk as well, how much exposure they got from this. And we saw that cover drive. Laura's cover drive is the best, one of the best cover drives in the world, in world cricket.
That's a staple.
Yeah, so like I mean, it's unbelievable how women's cricket is growing, and it's an amazing way forward for the world of sport. So can you just maybe give me some insights? What is there still left for women's cricket to improve on? I mean, there's always stuff to improve on, even in the men's game. But in the women's game right now, what do you think is probably maybe the top two things that need to be focused on with regards to taking the women's game to the world?
So I know that, like, I was watching Sky Sports, I think it was last year, and I was listening to the director of women's cricket in England, and they are actually pumping so much money into women's cricket to make it more professional on a domestic level. And they've identified how many years they are actually behind Australia. So if we look at Australia, they've completely made women's cricket a national sport. So you can leave school and go play cricket for a living. That's the kind of culture that they have. And we're talking about structures that are completely refined from primary school level, high school level, club cricket, provincial cricket, all the way into their franchise cricket, and then obviously their national team. Their selection pool is in the hundreds, and that is something that is phenomenal. I mean, that is on the level of our men here in South Africa in terms of franchise selection. I'm talking about players from a franchise league and the selection pool that we have within our men's. That is what's currently happening in Australia. So locally, what we need to start looking at is how to make our domestic leagues more professional. We're talking about we need to secure fringe national players, so players that are not contracted by CSA, to secure them within the provinces so that they can perform and, you know, create a healthy competition at the top. And that will create more competition domestically, but also it will create a bigger pool for selection, which is something that we do need. Excellence only comes with competition, and we need a bigger pool of players to choose from to have more excellence going forward. It's wonderful to see the players doing so well on the global stage. You know, this is the second semi-final, I think, now in 3 years, and if you look at the first semi-final in 2017, it was competitive. You know, we lost by 1 wicket. You know, well, England won by 1 wicket. And you look at the game against Australia this year, we lost by 5 runs. So we are there, but we need to push harder. And the only way to push harder is to build from the bottom up now. The top tier of players are secured, and that's wonderful, but we need to create a bigger a branch of players so that we have more competition and excellence going forward. That's just, you know, part of what needs to be done in South Africa. And once we have that, you know, players will be, I mean, I don't expect Laura to be playing for Western Province much longer, because whatever's going on in the world, she'll be playing all over the world. She'll be playing in Big Bash, she'll be playing in England, you know, and that is what you want. You want the players to leave so that the next generation can come through. And with the next generation coming through, they will push and compete, and that makes our team stronger. That makes them more competitive because we want to dominate. That's how Australia does it. So I just,
I mean, that's a lesson to the men's game as well, because it's the domestic
Yeah.
scene in South Africa, there's a lot of debate about that. Us on our podcast on a Sunday evening, we will be obviously discussing and debating how we can improve that. But the way you guys have set that up, I think it's unbelievable to watch you guys structure that and see how you've built a foundation, especially from under 19 right up till even from younger than that. So great work from your part and you guys. I want to ask you another question from Ravi as well. He says, do you ever see yourself potentially managing a men's team someday?
Sure, I never thought of it, to be honest. It depends. It depends on how far I go with my skills. If the opportunity comes, I wouldn't say no, I guess. But my goal right now is just to focus on women's cricket because there's so much more work and development that needs to be done. And I think I've specialized so long in the women's game. I'm just striving for excellence there first. And once I understand, you look at cricket and you say women's cricket, men's cricket, but ultimately it's the same game.
It's the
It's just
same.
different. You understand? So once I understand what I'm actually doing on a high performance level, it doesn't matter who's really playing. You understand? So I guess maybe in the long term, when I eventually get a PhD, then I would definitely consider it. It's not something that I would push aside because I'm strictly women's cricket. If the opportunity comes, I'll grab it with both hands. So yeah, I guess the answer is yes.
Okay, cool. So the next question, I'm going to kind of just assume with the Proteas one is, favorite women's Proteas player is, but who's your favorite international women's player?
There's so many.
Who had an impact on your life? Maybe who had the impact on your life? Maybe so
I mean,
many.
I feel like most of them are my age. um, I look at women's cricket and I say, okay, who do I really enjoy watching? I enjoy people that are consistent. I enjoy watching consistent performers. So one player that I really started to enjoy watching was Beth Mooney because she has been phenomenal. She's been so consistent for the past 2 seasons, 3 seasons, and she's literally walked herself into that national team and she dominated it. So I'm really enjoying Beth Mooney from Australia, and I love Alyssa Healy as well, and who can obviously forget Elise Perry. Um, I think Matali Raj is also a very consistent player, and she just walks in and you blink and she's on 50. So she's one of those players that I really admire. But yeah, for me, I just enjoy players that are consistent. I know in the national team, like I can't single out anybody, but I mean Shabi has been phenomenal over the years, consistently taking wickets. Marizan as well. Lord has got an absolutely healthy and strong average in the ODI game, number 8 in the world. Danae's power game has just improved so much. So does Minx. And just all the girls have really, excelled to be more consistent. So yeah, I'm just a big fan of whoever's performing consistently and wants to improve their game.
And in the men's game, because you mentioned obviously that you started off in men's supporting, watching men's cricket, etc., and playing the men's game first before you found out about men's cricket. So,
Yeah.
what are some of the legends that you looked up to when you were a kid, and also maybe who are some of your favorite protest players at the moment?
Jock Ellis. I love Jock Ellis. Um, and yeah, he was just amazing. The fact that he could bowl and bat on that level was just incredible. And I think I wanted to be an all-rounder just because of him. I wanted to be bat three and I wanted to be third change bowler. Yeah, no, Jacques Ellis was definitely a huge idol in me growing up. And yeah, sorry, what was your second question? I forgot.
Yeah, no, and your current favorite player now, you currently in the protest setup.
Quentin. I think Quentin is phenomenal. I think he's been so consistent, and he just, with all that is going on in the protein team, that guy just steps up. And
Yeah.
I was really impressed by his work ethic and his determination to succeed and just stay within his scope. So you talk about we spoke about processes and performances. I think he's been true to himself and his processes, and I think he's been true to achieving what he wants despite what is going on around. I think he's done an excellent job in ticking his box in his role within the team. So yeah, credit to him. I think he's incredible.
Got a quick switch to football from Emily. It's who's a football girl? Paul Scholes. Okay, we can move on.
How dare you? How dare you? I think Man United is like fifth on the log.
Yeah, or six, I think.
You heard Andre say, I've got my own banter. um, gosh, I can't, like, for me, okay, can I just say that my favorite sports person of all time is Roger Federer. He's
Okay,
just,
that's amazing.
for me, he's just the
I
goat.
agree with you.
Anything. So I don't have a goat for soccer. I don't have a goat for cricket. Federer is the goat of sport because he's just defined. Or he's 39 and he's still playing. Like, that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But in football, oh my gosh, obviously Steven Gerrard.
I like him too. I mean, I'll admit it. If there was anybody from Liverpool that I've ever wanted to see play for United was
Yeah,
Steven Gerrard. I get a lot of flack for that, actually, for
yeah.
saying that. Is there anybody
But
from United that you would have ever wanted? Like, if you had to look at it, so let's do a little game here. If there was any player, if there was any player from United that has played for United in the past that you would have thrown into Liverpool's team, who would it be? If you had a free budget to buy whatever player you wanted, who would it be from United?
gosh, Van Nistelrooy was amazing. He was a great striker, and I think we struggled with strikers for years.
Yeah.
I think if we needed someone, it was probably him. He was like an amazing striker. I don't think Ronaldo would have fitted very well. I think we probably needed a striker in that era when Fergie won so many trophies. I think it was like 2002. No, that was Arsenal. 3, 4. Um, yeah, probably Van Nistelrooy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just act like I don't see that comment in the corner. Let me just find another comment for you. Uh, let's end off with this one. This is a brilliant question from Faye, and she wants to know what can you do now that your future self will thank you for.
That's Faye's favorite question. She asks everybody that question. What can you do now that your future self will thank you for? To wake up and go run. Just wake up and go to the gym. I don't know.
That's a good enough answer.
I think every day as it comes. Like, I think about the future and then I just see it's like impossible to think about the future if I'm not focused on the now. So I try to okay, if there was one thing I tell myself, there's one thing I thank myself for is just be consistent. Values, processes. For me, I always have to have a routine. I try and just be consistent with what I want to do. If I decide I'm gonna go run, then I must go run and be consistent. If I decide I want to, study, I must just be consistent. So for me, something that I've learned over the years, and if I look back, is just doing what my heart says I must do. And that is something that never failed me. I just keep doing what my heart tells me to do. And if I look back 10 years ago, I would thank myself then for just keep doing what I wanted to do. And I continue to do what I want to do. So yeah.
So that's the end of the show, there, guys. I just want to say that was a great way to end it. I urge you guys all to go look at that article by Selena Musami on gsport.co.za. It's an awesome feature on Gabi. You can really get to know her much better. And thank you so much for coming on the show and giving me this interview. I've always wanted to have a long, interview with you and have a conversation with you, and not just an interview where I'm just asking you questions. So I really enjoyed it, and I really learned a lot about sports science and a lot about your role and a lot about women's cricket and where it's going. So lastly, just to end off, I just want you to give a quick message to the cricket fanatics fans out there.
Thank you everyone for watching. Khalid, thank you so much for having me on the show. And to the fans, like, keep supporting women's cricket. It needs your support. There's so much to look forward to. There's so much to see. And the goals are really special. I'm not just talking about my team. I'm talking about all the girls that are, getting up in the morning or doing their runs, who's batting, bowling in the yards right now in lockdown. There's a lot to look forward to when it comes to women's cricket. So support and keep supporting and keep watching Khalid. He's amazing and he does a lot of amazing things for women's cricket. So it's a wonderful institution to be part of. So
okay. So on behalf of all of us, thank you very much for coming to the show and teaching us so much,
you.
Gabi. And also thank you, Liverpool, for giving us Michael Owen. We made him a Premier League champion, so thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It was amazing.
Thank you, Gabi. And stay safe to your family, everybody. Stay safe in lockdown. And yeah.
Thank you, you too.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.